Good morning, Nationeers. I have a confession to make. I broke the law without knowing it. I've been driving cars since I was about probably 16 or 17 years old, and I haven't owned a car except, this is actually my first car, the car that I'm in right now. This is my first car. I've only owned this car for about a year, maybe a year and a half. But I've been driving a long time, and I've never received a ticket in my whole life until, like, 3 weeks ago. I was on my way outside of California, driving to Arizona to go look at apartments, and on my way at an intersection, going out, the lights come on behind me from a police car, who pulls me over, and yeah. I was thinking, oh no, I'm just barely almost out of the state, and they're pulling me over. And then he says the tags on your car are expired by about 3 months. I had no clue. So he gave me what's called a fix-it ticket, where it doesn't go on my record and everything's gonna be fine, except I have to go and get the car inspected at a DMV. So yeah, that's the story about how I accidentally broke the law without knowing, and that's why I'm out here in my car today, because I have to go and renew my registration on my vehicle. One of the obvious differences that I found firsthand in Arizona from being in LA is that sitting in a car with a camera pointed at your face and talking to no one else in the car except for the camera lens is actually perceived as being slightly odd in this state. In California, you know, people are weird all the time, so they're used to people walking around with a camera at arm's length and talking into a lens. I have to go and get the title of my car and bring it with me and get an emissions test, which is where I'm gonna go right now. Yay, I passed the emissions test. Have you ever done something like that where you accidentally break a rule that you didn't even know the rule existed, but you accidentally break it and then you don't find out that you were actually breaking the rules until a long time after? Has that ever happened to you before? And I don't want to hear about some law that you've broken. I don't want you to get arrested from something you type in the comments, but one of those small rules that doesn't hurt anyone else, like the times whenever someone states that they don't allow you to run the water hose on your lawn except on the even days or on the odd days, or you accidentally did it, or maybe some states they don't let you walk your dog on the days that you're only allowed to walk your cat or something, and you accidentally did it and all the cats ran for cover. I don't know what the crazy laws are in your state, but whenever you found out that you had been breaking the rules and you didn't know, did you feel guilty, or did you feel bad about it, or were you just amused, or was it kind of a mixture of any of those? What did you feel like whenever you found out that by accident you were breaking one of the rules? While we are on the subject of laws, somebody asked me in the comments yesterday about copyright law and how authors' works are protected. They were asking, you know, whenever you finish a novel, how do you ever feel safe sending it off to an agent? Do I need to get it copyrighted? What sort of things do you do to protect your work so that nobody steals it? Now, I'm not sure what country you're in and what the laws are there, but in the US, anything that you write is automatically copyrighted just by you writing it down. So when you send stuff out to publishers or to agents to look at, they can't steal it legally. They can't use it because it's yours. And just think about it too, because for them to steal a novel, it would take a whole lot of work just to steal it. Like, maybe even more work than it took to write the book. Because as the writer, you have so much proof that you wrote it. You probably have boxes of notes, you have notebooks, you have scribbles, you have post-it notes lying everywhere, you have all the different drafts and documents. If someone was to steal it, they can't fabricate all of those things. So there's no way, if you went to court, for them to prove that they did it. And if an agent or a publisher did steal your book and did publish it, and it did turn into a huge bestseller, you could sue them for a lot, and probably a lot more than they made off of stealing your book. So yeah, always be wary of people that are in the publishing business. Make sure that they're a legit company and a legit agent before you send it to them. But when you send it to them, don't be afraid to let them read it and let them review it. And don't be afraid to share your work with other people, because that's a huge part of being a writer, is letting that writing go and letting other people read it. Because I know exactly how it feels to be afraid to let other people read your work, not just because of copyright, but because of just being afraid of what other people will think of it. I mean, I had to go through that 20 different times, giving it to an agent, giving it to readers, and then putting it out on shelves, and then publishing date, and then all that crazy stuff. But if you want to be a writer, you have to get used to letting other people read your work and trusting other people with your story. But really, there's no better feeling in the world than finishing a chapter, or 2 chapters, or 6 or 7, or maybe even your whole book, and printing it out and letting other people read it and letting other people give their opinions of your work. It's amazing to let other people enter into your mind. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons that writers like to write, because they can always find readers who like to read.
With my dying